Welcome to Asian Film Fans. Let's take a look at all the confirmed, planned and rumoured Chinese and Hong Kong movies set to release in 2022. We've tried to be as thorough as we can and check as many sources as possible, but it's likely a few key titles may have slipped through the cracks, so let us know in the comments. The video is split into 3 categories: confirmed, planned and rumoured. But before we get started, let's have a look at a few movies that should have come out by now.
明白了，这水可深了，可得想好了。
我是不希望老爷子自愿介入进来，免得最后都无法收场。
今天你让我来是个错误，你多了个敌人。
钱买有钱。
Confirmed are movies we know are releasing in 2022. Just in time for Valentine's Day, this charming-looking romantic comedy film is about finding that one person in the world that you connect with, that 0.1%. Up-and-coming actress Zhou has the lead role in this one, with Patrick Shi set to star in his breakout role. This big-budget action comedy film is set to release at Chinese New Year. Directed by frequent Shenten collaborator Yan Song and starring comedy genius Shenten, Ma Li, Hu Tao and Ai Lun from Jackie Chan's Vanguard, this movie is about a family who reunites at a funeral only for a meteorite to crash into the grave and bring the deceased family member back to life, triggering a series of superpowers within them as long as they remain close together. This one already has a teaser trailer, so expect to see more closer to Chinese New Year. The director listed for this film is cinematographer Xiaoding Zhao, who was responsible for Zhang Yimou hits Cliffwalkers, 1 Second, Shadow, and well, pretty much every modern Zhang Yimou film. The poster is pretty cool, and the cast list includes Zhang Hongyu from The Captain and Operation Red Sea, and Wu Zhang from The 800 and Let the Bullets Fly. This movie is being funded by streaming giant iQIYI, meaning a theatrical release is doubtful. This fantasy romance film has an expected release date of the 22nd of July 2022, starring Hong Kong TV actor Jackie Chong, careful of the pronunciation, and the cute Hua He, who has been in a lot of fantasy TV series. This movie is about a young woman who believes she can change others' romantic destiny by sacrificing herself for future generations. This is another big movie set for the Chinese New Year movie release period, just in time for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. This movie is based on the 1980 Chinese Winter Olympic delegation who fight to achieve success in the speed skating category. Directed by Wang Fang, who 10 years ago did a similar Olympic true story movie called Champion, and stars Mei Meng, a singer, dancer and actress who was once part of the Korean Chinese girl group Cosmic Girls. Based on a novel of the same name, this film is being handled by actor and director Yu Zhang and featuring a decent cast including Wesley Wong from Pacific Rim Uprising and Jeana Ho from Raging Fire. This is a fantasy adventure film about astrology. Principal shooting commenced in October of 2021, but expect to see this one pushed back to 2023. A family animation set for Chinese New Year release, this is based upon a popular Japanese IP and is the first time it will be presented in 3D. This could be interesting. Filming is completed on this drama adventure about a retired bridge engineer and a troubled teenager who cross paths and form a friendship of understanding and redemption. The big draw card for this title is Hong Kong veteran actress Clara as the bridge engineer, with Charles Hu from 1921 and Go-To Brother in the role of the teen. This Hong Kong action thriller appears to have commenced shooting in late September of 2021 and stars Andy Lau as a security expert aboard the maiden voyage of an A380 Airbus when it is hijacked, putting 800 passengers' lives at stake. But helping him to defeat the hijackers is his blind daughter, played by the one and only Zifen Zhang. This blockbuster is being directed by Oxidi Peng, one half of the famous Peng brothers. This one will be worth keeping an eye out for. This family animation is set for release in Chinese New Year and is about the Guardian team, which includes a goat, wolf, and some sheep who enter a basketball tournament. While they lose, their love for the sport reunites them and drives them to try harder. A mix of animation styles in this one should be a hit with the local audience. A fantastic cast including Xiaoyang from Endgame and Sheep Without a Shepherd 2, and Jessie Lee from Monster Run and The Yin Yang Master headline this delightful sounding romantic comedy film about a software programmer who ends up in a rehab hospital where he meets all kinds of eclectic people. Keep an eye out for this one and expect it later in 2022. This film was anticipated to be released in late 2021 and is an action film about phone scams featuring lots of car chases, action, and other exciting scenes. Xing Yu is the director for this one. He's more well known for his acting roles alongside Donnie Yen in Kung Fu Jungle, Flashpoint, and Ip Man, so the action scenes are definitely in good hands. This film series is difficult to get a grasp on. Originally supposed to be released in 2020 as part of a trilogy of films, there has been no information about this movie since the pandemic. Director Wu Ershan is no stranger to fantasy films, with his recent films including Mojin and Painted Skin. This feels like it could be his Lord of the Rings moment, considering the effort being put into this one. A big cast is led by Huang and Chen are featured in this massive reimagining of the popular Fenchen stories. Four Seas is the literal translation of the title, which at this stage is also going under the name Only Fools Rush In. This Chinese New Year comedy film is bound to be a smash hit, with popular director Han of Pegasus fame at the helm, and longtime collaborators Shen and Zhang Ying featuring in this film, starring alongside Detective Chinatown's Lu Haoran and up-and-coming emo girl Lu Haozun from 1 Second and Cliff Walkers. A heartwarming family drama about a 20-year-old boy and his younger sister who move to Shenzhen for a better life. This movie has a very impressive cast list, including Better Days' Jackson Yi, Eric Wang from Dying to Survive, Mei Yong from So Long My Son, and features cameos from two comedy favourites Shen and Zhang Yu. And that's just the start of the cast list. Hold on to your hat, this one is a co-production between China, Hong Kong and the US. Soi Chung continues his Monkey King series of films, which is up to its 4th film, but this doesn't seem to be part of the series. Of course, Aaron Kwok is in this and hopefully he is Sun Wukong, but joining him is Donnie Yen, Chow Yun Fat, and Peter Ho from Double World. A mega movie with a mega cast, this could be one of the most exciting Monkey King movies ever made. The gods of Chinese comedy, Shen and Ma Li, get together for their umpteenth movie from the writer and director of their 2017 comedy film Never Say Die. This could be one of the most Shen movies ever. Set in 2033, an asteroid hits Earth and destroys all life. An evacuation mission is planned to the moon, where a maintenance worker, played by Peng, is sent to the moon in preparation of the craft's landing. However, disaster strikes the craft and the maintenance man finds that he is the last human left in the universe. This Hong Kong film is listed on IMDb and there is a lot of concept photos available, so it seems this is coming soon. Originally set for release in September of 2021, this Wang Jing fantasy movie casts Donnie Yen as Zhang San Feng and Mr. Cool Louis Koo as Zhang Ku Shan. Set within the world of Shangri-La, this is a remake of the 1986 film New Heaven's Sword and the Dragon's Saber. The impressive cast also includes Xing Yu, Janice Mann, Alex Fong, and Raymond Lam. This is a comedy film with a big cast. It's a comedy film that focuses on the topic of parent-child education, specifically a father and son. Huang from Crazy Alien, Leap, and The Island takes the lead in this film, joined by Xiaofei Zhang, who played Jia Ling's mother in the 2021 mega smash hit Hi Mom, Leo Wu from Zhang Yimou's Shadow, and Zhixiang Zhang from The Wandering Earth. Jackie Chan is showing no signs of slowing down with this drama film about a man and his horse and the road trip he takes with his daughter and her boyfriend to save it. Larry Yang, who directed the animal-themed drama Adoring, is the writer and director here, with an impressive cast alongside Jackie Chan, including Liu Haosun from 1 Second and Cliff Walkers, and Zombie Fight Club's Andy On. Putting this in the confirmed pile, as there is a lot of evidence to show this movie has been completed, this movie is about an explosion that kills a Hong Kong businessman and how it leads to a battle between drug traffickers and the police. Juno Mac's first film since Rigor Mortis, and featuring a breathtaking cast including Louis Koo, Takeshi Kaneshiro, Tony Leung, Sean Lau, Michelle Y. Should I keep going? Let's hope we see this in early 2022. Set for release on Chinese New Year 2022, this Hong Kong comedy film is set around the traditional dinner table time of 8 PM every night. This movie is starring Dao Wang, Steffi Tang, Ivana Wang and Louis Chung. It's been a while since we've had a good Hong Kong comedy, let's hope this one delivers. The third family movie set for Chinese New Year release, this movie will take the audience back 65 million years in the Cretaceous period to learn about the king of dinosaurs, T-Rex. This is the highly anticipated sequel to the 2021 smash hit Battle at Lake Changjin, with the story focusing on the bombing of the Watergate Bridge. Same directors and casts from Changjin including Kaige Chen, Choi Hak and Dante Lam, with Wu Jing, Jackson Yi and Di Hong Duan. This should be massive. Planned are movies that should release or finish their filming in 2022. Supposedly this is completed, but no marketing material on this one yet. The cast includes some fantastic actresses such as Fan Shu, Celina Jade and Zhou. Currently in production, this is a movie about human trafficking in the north of China. Yan Ni from Zhang Yimou's 2014 film Coming Home is starring alongside Hugh Ge from The Wild Goose Lake. Proving that China hasn't given up on monster movies, Abyss Beast is in its planning stage. Directed by Sicheng Xu, who directed Crocodile Island, which wasn't too bad, and starring Lemon Meng Zhang, who's been in a lot of movies, and Li Ning, this not-so-original movie is about a super soldier who has been living in solitude after the death of his wife, who gets back into the field when a scientist asks for his help at a research site where a giant alien creature has come to life. The creature escapes, and I'm guessing it's his job to save the day. This is an action sci-fi movie from the director of Huge Shark, a fairly decently received Chinese web monster movie, featuring a Tibetan actress who was last seen in the Wu Jing and Zhang Ziyi movie The Climbers. This movie is about a mysterious alien craft that arrives on Earth for an unknown reason. Fearing danger, a group of soldiers are sent in to destroy the alien craft. Production has begun on this film, but no release date is set yet. Already suffering a delay, this film is about a man who faces the dreaded 7-year itch in his marriage. While on a break from his wife, she sends him divorce papers, and excitedly he goes on an adventure to get back to the city to sign the papers and be a free man. This is directed by Yang Yuan Han, who was involved in the mega hit Hi Mum, and stars Yang Cheng, who acted and directed in the comedy film Warm Hug, and comedy actor Jia Bing, a man with a very recognizable face. This romantic film began principal shooting in September of 2021 from the writer of the 2018 film A or B, and features a good-looking cast including Chang Li from Battle at Lake Changjin and Celina Jade from Wolf Warrior 2, and is about a sales director who falls in love with the female director of a rival company, where he is forced to make a decision between his career and the woman he loves. This crime thriller looks to have had its opening ceremony in April of 2021 and features a fantastic cast including Louis Koo, Gordon Lam, Karena Lam and Louis Chung. This fantasy movie had its opening ceremony back in May and is an adaptation of a novel based on the character Meng Po. This movie explores fate and the love between Meng Po and Yu Lao and features actress He Hua, who starred in the live-action version of Whitesnake in 2021. This action thriller is about a former SWAT captain who is blinded during a mission. His daughter is kidnapped and he needs to save her. Andy On is starring in this one with Xing Yang alongside him. Hopefully this is nice and action-packed. This action thriller sounds pretty cool. In exchange for freedom, a deserter has to complete an impossible task: deliver a secret letter for a warlord to another to help bring an end to a war. Many obstacles get in his way. Can he complete his mission? This is definitely going to be a web movie, as it's being helmed by a director and features actors who predominantly work in the web movie realm. Information about this one is a mess, but we can confirm that the version being made was expected last year and now hopefully due in 2022. Starring the super awesome Max Zhang, this is supposed to be based on a true story about a group of mercs who are tasked with defending the security of two countries at war. The original listing I found had a film with the same title, crediting a cast including Jackie Chan, Johnny Huang and Celina Jade. But we can't find any more information about that other than a terrible poster that seems to have stolen video game art. This should be a big one. Director and producer Chen is behind this movie, with an impressive cast that includes William Chan from The Yin Yang Master and Wang Chen from The 800. This action drama movie is based on the unknown history of the Guangdong Revolutionary Party and is set during the Agrarian Revolutionary War, which spanned from 1927 to 1937. Believed to have finished production in 2019, but due to all the troubles of Fan Bingbing at the time, the release was delayed. This sequel also features Yu Ge and Fan Wei and appears to be a new tale using the same plot hook. This sports drama film, currently with 2 different titles, is being helmed by Hong Kong director William Yip of The House That Never Dies and Cook Up a Storm fame. Starring cute Hong Kong actress Cherry Nan and pop star Geng Han, this seems to be another movie paying tribute to Chinese achievements in winter sports. This is a historical drama based on the story of a real historic figure, specifically a beggar on the streets of Shanghai. The director of this film has a solid history of web streaming martial arts fantasy films and a solid cast, including Ling Xiong, who played the wife of Ip Man in the Donnie Yen movies. This mystery movie sounds intriguing. The relatives of a deceased rich businessman gather at a hotel for the reading of his will, but a mysterious letter is read out by the lawyer, revealing a family secret. This is based on a novel by Japanese author Kaige Higashino and stars the incredible Ren Shutzi from Mr. Donkey and Min Tao Liu from My People, My Homeland. Are you a Donnie Yen fan but have never heard of this? He's featured in the promo video in the background with this movie about the rescue of an 8-year-old boy lost in the Changbai Mountains. Not sure how big Yen's role is in this film, or if he really is in it, but the director is Chi Leung Law, who was responsible for the terrific The Vanished Murderer from 2015, and also stars Cecilia Han and Jia Bing. They've had their opening ceremony, but nothing since. The story is about a little girl who finds out that her dad is actually an alien. This one features Jia Bing as the dad. Another giant snake monster movie, this one is set on a cruise ship. Filming looks to have begun in July of 2021 for this web movie, featuring a cast of predominantly web movie actors, except for Hong Kong veteran Wasi Lee, last seen in the biopic Anita, and actress Jiayin Lee, who's already been in quite a few giant monster snake movies. Filming looks to have commenced on this one back in July of 2021, but strangely information is scarce. However, this comedy film reunites 2 popular 1990s childhood actors in Ashton Chen from Ip Man 2 and Shao Wen-hao, last seen in Soul Snatcher. Joining the 2 men is Colin Chow from Turandot, Gatao, the 4 trilogy and the Matrix sequels. We'd love to give you more info about this Hong Kong thriller, but other than some opening ceremony photos and a story that's about how people are too reliant on the internet, the only other thing we can tell you is that the cast list is incredible, including Aaron Kwok, Gordon Lam, Patrick Tan, and Simon Yam. Oh, and it's directed by Danny Wong, who guided Kwok in the excellent drama I'm Living It. Expect big things. A sequel in name only to the 2020 film featuring the same cast. This film is about a young man from northeast China who leaves the countryside to realize his dream of kung fu. Director Stephen Zhou from the 2 Super Unique movies is at the helm of this one again. We just have some behind the scenes photos of this sci-fi action movie, but it appears this is going to be a big film. This is based on a comic from Hong Kong and promises comic-style visuals, with a cast including William Chan, Eddie Peng, and Dilraba Dilmurat. This fantasy adventure has finished filming and appears to have been made for a theatrical release. The director Feng Yongqing has previously worked with Huang, so there are high expectations here, with a cast including up-and-coming talent Lu Chuxiang and Xu Tong. This fantasy film weaves a tale of princesses, ghosts, and dragons. Yeah, we couldn't really decipher the synopsis of this one, but this seems to have started production and is starring Daniel Zhang from Overall Planning. The opening ceremony for this film was held in Foshan, the hometown of Ip Man, in September and was based on their local police force. Expect lots of action in this one, with Dean Liu from Ding Sheng's 2019 movie SWAT and Taiwan veteran Colin Chow starring. 2022 is delivering yet another Winter Olympic-themed sports-based movie. This one tells the story of the Chinese national short track speed skating team and is not to be confused with Chasing Dreams or Breaking Through. No director name can be found for this yet, but it will star Yishang Zhang from the Detective Chinatown TV series. This one sounds like a standard action thriller where a man travels to an unnamed Southeast Asian country to rescue his kidnapped son from human traffickers. The director is Chan, who was the writer for the Ip Man series of films, including Master Z and several other Donnie films, so the expectation is that the action should be good. This adventure movie is adapted from a novel of the same name and tells the tale of 4 members of the Yellow River boat gang who decide to raid the tomb of the Dragon King. The cast for this includes Chen Zhou, who is no stranger to tomb raiding fantasy films, and Meitong Liu from the popular TV series Doluo Continent. A Chinese horror film with a suitably moody feel to it. We don't have a synopsis on this one yet, but it has commenced filming. While the cast is predominantly younger web movie actors and actresses, the notable inclusion is Hong Kong stunt veteran Chong Yan from Vampire Cleanup Department and Kung Fu Jungle. Who would have thought the day we'd see sexy Taiwanese actress Xu Zi in a family film? This movie's set in a village where a family is awaiting the arrival of a new baby, but something unexpected breaks their tranquility. As mentioned, Xu Zi is the big draw card here alongside Baoqiang from Cloudy Mountain. Principal shooting commenced early October 2021, so expect it shortly unless it's full of heavy special effects, which would seem odd. The third movie in this fantasy comedy series sees lead actress Fei Yin reprise her role from the previous 2 films about a real estate agent salesman who meets the god of wealth but accidentally smashes his magical artifact. If he can repair the artifact, he will be granted untold riches, but wealth comes at a price. An all-female war movie about a militia group in Shandong who battle across a dangerous minefield to defeat the Japanese. This is in production and is being made for Chinese television. Another Su Wong fan, the story of Ricky, military action movie. This one is filming in Xi'an and tells the story of a police officer who goes undercover to infiltrate a triad organization. No doubt this is being made for web streaming, and I can't say it sounds too exciting. This movie has had its opening ceremony and released some concept art as well. Kunlun is an important part of Chinese mythology, a holy mountain where the gods of Taoism live. This movie asks the question, can people and demons live in peace at Kunlun? The cast list are actors who are comfortable with the fantasy setting, and the movie is promoting its use of CGI as an added feature. Wouldn't be a list of Chinese movies without a Journey to the West movie. Apparently, this is a version with 3 very distinct parts, and is the first time a movie has been made about this particular story in 30 years. I find that a little hard to believe. Starring Liu Xiaoling Tong as Sun Wukong, reprising his role in the TV series of the same name, and is being directed by Yan Han, who was behind the 2020 hit A Little Red Flower. This drama film is a true story based on the founder of an orphanage in Tianjin, who created a program of encouraging youth from the city to return to their hometowns to start businesses and to look after orphaned children. This film has had its opening ceremony and is being funded by streaming platform iQIYI, a romantic tale about a couple's lifelong relationship from when they first met to getting married. A solid cast in this one, including Rohan Shu, who played Farida, the adventurous daughter of the kidnapped businessman in the Jackie Chan film Vanguard, and is being directed by the writer of The End of Endless Love. This movie has had its opening ceremony, but otherwise, information is scarce. This is rumoured to star Mu Mia from Jackie Chan's Vanguard and Li Min-xuan from Detective Chinatown 3. This Kaige Chen drama is in post-production. Starring Lu Haoran, this movie follows a collection of young men as they grow up amid struggles, misery, confusion, and discovering their self-worth. Painted Skin is another tale that seems to be retold quite a bit in Chinese cinema, with this version about a talented painter who escapes her enslavement and meets a kind young army general. She gets kidnapped by the Demon King, where she is forced to use her painting skills. TV actress Men Zhang, also known as Lemon, takes on the starring role in this adaptation. Another year, another Najjar film. This one follows the teenaged version of the troublemaker hero and has been in production for a few years. This movie is being made for exclusive release on iQIYI, Youku, and Tencent video streaming services. This mystery thriller has had its opening ceremony and appears to be about something called the Night People, who are reincarnated from the heavens. Seems to be more fantasy than mystery, and would guess this is set for video streaming platforms. I love the poster for this one. This movie follows a model played by Jeana Chen Jin and a depressed computer programmer who both take up job offers that get them involved in an elaborate cyber scam. This is director Shen's first big movie and features cameo performances from Wang from The Rookies and Super Me and Eric Wang from Dying to Survive. Yet another Novoland movie. This one has started filming and is about a teenager from royal bloodline who encounters a demon at Kunlun. This movie features Zhang Yazi from Killer Bee Invasion and a member of the SNH48 pop idol group. A very good cast in this one, but don't get too excited, as this is a film that celebrates the 100 years of the founding of the CCP. Yihong Duan from Home Sweet Home and Battle at Lake Changjing and Lei Jiayin from Assassin in Red and Cliff Walkers headline this one. Confusingly, we are getting yet another movie called Once Upon a Time in Hong Kong, although this one is purely a Hong Kong film. Set in the 1980s, this involves a Hong Kong business that went from success to liquidation in just a few years, and the ICAC members who investigate it. Felix Chong, who directed Project Gutenberg, is behind this with a cast including Tony Leung, Andy Lau, Charlene Choi, Simon Yam, Carlos Chan, Alex Fong, Philip Keung, Karlok Chin. In fact, it would be easier to list the actors who are not in this movie, which would be Louis Koo, who was in the 2021 Once Upon a Time movie. Are you confused yet? Starring everyone's second favourite Bing Bing, Li Bingbing from the awesome shark movie The Meg, this thriller is about the life and death rescue of a young boy in Xinjiang. Tony Chan, director of firefighting movie The Bravest, is at the helm of this one. This one has been in the works for a long time and has faced delays, most likely because the cast list includes Fan Bingbing. While it shares the same name, this is not related to the famous Japanese anime thriller. Rather, this is a tale about 4 college girls who meet 7 years after their graduation due to a serious accident that tests their friendship. Alongside Fan Bingbing is Zhilei Jing, Ava Wang, Celina Jade, Zhang Yi, and Yanhui Wang. This has had its opening ceremony and seems to be about illegal medical procedures from the rough translation. Appears to be a made-for-web movie, but with a big cast including Zhang Yi and Yitong Li. A meteorite falls from the sky and leads the way to a mysterious tomb that's been sealed off for centuries. This film has started production and is expected to release on web streaming, starring He Gang from the Direnji series of films. An action fantasy movie with an archery theme. This movie was expected to release late 2021 but seems to have been pushed back. This also appears to have been finished production and features Lu Yongxi from the well-received 2020 film Mulan. No, not the Disney one, or Matchless Mulan. Supposedly this one has finished filming and was anticipated for a worldwide release in September 2021 to coincide with the 100-year celebrations. Not sure what link it has to the party, as it appears to be a modern tale of boxing that links to a TV show of the same name. This one has started production and is a fantasy tale set in the Sun Wukong Monkey King world about a red demon child who must learn the purpose of his existence. Expect lots of colourful worlds and costumes in this one. A co-production between China and Hong Kong, this Herman Yao-directed action film is based on a true story from 1988, where a landslide buried a drug cartel ring as special forces were attempting to infiltrate. A completely mainland cast in this one, including Hao Oh from Battle of Lake Changjin and Chinese Doctors, and Jason Gu, who was also in Chinese Doctors in 1921. This is a film that deals with deforestation and the effects it has creating vast deserts. Director of The Climbers, Daniel Lee, is co-directing this film with a cast that includes Huang Bo and Vision Wei from the 800. Cool poster of fighting dragons aside, this one has had its opening ceremony and is now listed as being in post-production. A clear fantasy movie with some impressive sets and costumes, there is unfortunately no clear plot on this one. Also known as Fate, this movie is about a sheep herder who becomes a hero following an accident. Zhu Xiao Li from The 800 and Sacrifice and the brilliant Ren Shuzi from Mr. Donkey and a Cool Fish are expected to star in this one. A weird choice of a movie to get a sequel, as the original story ended differently to the Indian original, which did get a sequel. This movie is not based on that sequel though, but a completely new story about a family whose son has an accident and needs urgent treatment, so he devises a terrifying plan to get it. Cao Yang and Philip Keung return for this sequel, with Simon Yam and Janice Mann added to the cast list, with the director of Detective Chinatown TV series replacing the Malaysian director of the first film. Worth keeping an eye on. What we do know about this movie is that it seems to have snafu'd itself. Alongside its ridiculous name change from Project Extraction, this movie is supposedly completed, but apparently no distributor wants to touch it. A cast that includes Jackie Chan and John Cena, this should eventually see the light of day sometime in the future. This has had its opening ceremony and is about a man with short-term memory loss who falls in love with a woman and tries everything possible to retain memories of her. Sounds a little bit like 50 First Dates and I Remember, so not exactly original. This is going to be a monster movie about a sea creature that seems to be following the pre-existing monster movie template. It's already started shooting, so expect it soon. China is really ramping up its sci-fi output lately. This one has started production and a lot of interesting behind the scenes photos are available. This one tells the story of an interstellar craft that gets trapped in an abyss. With minimal hibernation slots available for the crew, monsters and other aliens are released onto the ship to thin out the survivors. Sounds insane. This comedy movie is about three men who steal the formula of a popular Chinese medication and make their own version. This film has had its opening ceremony and features a cast of actors who have done a lot of comedy films. This is a Hong Kong-China co-production that was planned in 2014 and finished filming in 2017, and as yet remains unreleased, so it may not even come out in 2022. This one finished filming in early 2021, but there's been silence since. TV actress Elaine Jin stars in this adventure movie about a woman who tries to solve an ancient mystery of her ancestors and retrieve a treasure before it's stolen by a Japanese team. Huang Fan is headlining this sci-fi action film set in 2080, where the Earth has become a gathering place for alien species all over the galaxy. But a meteor shower hits the planet and features the ability to mutate anyone who comes in contact with it. It's in production phase, so hopefully this one turns out alright. Supposedly this one has finished filming and is something to do with either the jungle or the Gobi Desert. We're not sure as the synopsis is vague and there's no marketing material, but it does star Ren Shu-Zi. The latest on this is that the film has wrapped up production and looks to continue telling the tale of anti-drug officers catching bad guys in Southeast Asia. The usual Hong Kong cast is in this Herman Lau-led film, including Sean Lau, Louis Koo, Aaron Kwok, Galen Law, Eddie Peng, Lam Suet, and Alex Fong. This big-budget film has had its opening ceremony, so it's on track to hit 2022. Starring veteran Hong Kong actor Nick Chung and Taiwanese heartthrob Talu Wang from The Rookies, this crime thriller is about human trafficking and the undercover police officer who tries to stop it. This fantasy film has had its opening ceremony and is about a group of men who kill a gang of Silver Moon wolves, but one escapes and returns 10 years later to seek revenge. TV actress Ming-Na Yang headlines this fantasy production. This looks to have finished filming and is about an all-woman special forces team, a sexy cast including Dong Dong Shu from Escape of Shark and Tian Ge from the horror film Nowhere to Run. Another painted skin movie, this one has a few behind the scenes photos already available, so it's in production. The highlight here is the gorgeous model and actress Clara Lee in a starring role. These are movies that have been rumoured for a 2022 release, but no firm info is available. A war movie about the reunion of two men who fought in the Battle of Lake Changang-Ling. Kaige Chen and Dante Lam are listed as the directors, with Wu Jing as actor. Worth noting, this listing could be a misdirect for the Battle at Lake Changjing and its sequel, so until more info comes forward, this is a rumour and is also listed twice under two different names. There isn't much information about this one other than this concept poster art and an announced cast list that includes Michael Tse from 2020's Infernal Walker, Jeana Ho from Raging Fire, and Hong Kong veteran Lam Suet from many great Hong Kong films. This is listed as an action thriller movie, so expect to hear more about this one if it gets confirmed. This movie is about a washed up Hong Kong actor who travels to the Chinese countryside to experience the real life. Crazy alien director Ning is at the helm, with Andy Lau as the lead. Just a promotional poster is available for this romantic comedy with a rumoured cast to include Kimi Tong from many Hong Kong films including Black Comedy, The Last Tycoon and the From Vegas to Macau trilogy, and Xu Jun Kong, who was recently seen in the 2021 comedy hit Hi Mum. Rough translation for this one about how a family dynamic falls apart when the patriarch is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Peter Chan is the director and Zhao Shun is listed as the only cast member. This action fantasy with martial arts title has just had its logo released and is rumoured to contain a relatively unknown cast of TV actors. expect this one to be a web movie. Another Wu Jing war movie we could probably chalk down to a misdirected listing for Battle at Lake Changjin. Otherwise, this means Wu Jing is set to star in 6 war movies in 2022, the rest are coming in this section of the video. Absolutely nothing but a rumour, but it's anticipated to be a sci-fi romantic movie from Peter Chan of Leap and Brett Ratner of Rush Hour fame. Set in 1683, this film is about the Emperor of the time sending his navy to Taiwan to stop its independence. I can't see this movie being well received at the moment, but it was announced in late 2021 with Sicheng as the director. An interesting title, this one. The Bermuda Star Rangers, ignore the spelling mistake on the promotional poster, is an action sci-fi movie about a merchant ship that mysteriously disappears in Bermuda. This was initially set to release in 2021 and has a cast list that includes Carl Wen-yu, who had a small role in the 800. No doubt the cast of this one will garner some interest. Nothing more than a rumour at this stage, but with action director Din Sheng, who was responsible for the 2018 remake of A Better Tomorrow and Police Story 2013, and starring veterans Jackie Chan and Andy Lau, who are no strangers to working with Ding. This one is supposed to be about 2 professional bodyguards performing an escort mission of a businessman and his fiancée, but they get trapped in a murder plot of the man's business rival. Sounds like it could be fun, so we'll have to wait to hear more. This comedy drama is about a famous author whose family is killed in a car accident, and thus she's now determined to kill all the characters in her story. Ma Li is listed in this one, alongside actor and director Bai Bao in a starring role. We couldn't tell you anything about this film other than what we can gather from the poster, which seems to show a period palace guard standing atop a roof. It features a cast of martial artists, so if this gets made, expect a lot of kung fu action and wire work. This art house style drama film stars Chen and is about a man who returns to his hometown to be with his terminally ill father, and while spending time with his family, he uncovers a few truths about them. Nothing about this action fantasy movie is known, other than the interesting looking poster and an announced cast list of actors who've done a lot of smaller roles. This suspense film was first announced in 2015 and is the tale of voyeurism, betrayal and conspiracy. Choi Hark is listed as the writer, with Nun Yu from Wolf Warrior 2 and The Expendables as the lead. This was probably expected. Wang Jing's popular Chasing the Dragon series returns with a story set in Chinatown in New York in 1963. Andy Lau and Louis Koo are attached to this one. Not much on this film other than a very interesting concept poster and a rumoured cast list that includes Sabrina Chu from Chasing the Dragon 2 and Jiana from the Great God Monkey trilogy of films. A rumoured Hong Kong movie from director Peter Chan, this movie is about Chinese aunts who speculate in the gold trade in New York and Dubai. Nothing else is known except Sandra Ng is expected to star in it. This anticipated trilogy of films is the brainchild of director of the Detective Chinatown series, Chen Sicheng. The other 2 movies are going to be called Mozart in Outer Space and Monet in Outer Space. Huang is attached to this, with Zishan Rong, who played the son in Home Sweet Home, also listed. Back in 2014, this movie about the Kowloon walled city was proposed, with Soi Chang and Derek Kwok as the directors and Louis Koo and Max Zhang in the starring roles. This rumoured fantasy action movie is about a little character with supernatural powers. So far that's all we've got on this one, but the cast includes Sing Tong Yao, who had a small role in the 2019 Jackie Chan Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Iron Mask. This one seems to be based on, or at least inspired by, the popular Konami run and gun game. Set in 1988, a meteorite falls on an uninhabited island, and then something about a criminal syndicate that Bill and Lancer try to take down. Wolf Warrior himself, Wu Jing, is the proposed star of this one, rumoured back in 2019. This expected film tells the tale of the deaths of over 3,000 Chinese citizens, but we're not sure under what context, as the synopsis was rather vague. This listing is very confusing. Also known as Airline Uprising of 1949, we already have a film called Crisis Route planned for release in 2022, so this could be a fake listing. Wu Jing is attached to this. This proposed movie will be adapted from a novel about a strange ancient village that reappears after an earthquake. Taiwanese director Leslie Chen of Home Sweet Home is directing, with Huang and Yang as the cast. Adapted by a novel from Baoqiang, who wrote the original story the movie The Perilous Internet Ring is based on, This historical drama is set in the Ming Dynasty and is from the perspective of the villagers. Appears to be made for streaming and has concept art available, with Gang Wu from Wolf Warrior 2 and Leap featuring alongside TV actress Steffi T. Cool poster aside, not much is known about this, but the Chinese title shares the same name as a civil war waged during the Ming Dynasty. However, this isn't a fantasy film, so it can't be about that. Sabrina Chu from Chasing the Dragon 2 and Hong Kong actress Ada Wong, the daughter of famous Hong Kong director Wang Jing, are rumoured to feature in the cast. Roughly translated title, nothing on this recently announced title except that Wei Fan is expected to be the star. This is a bit of a surprise, but the movie series is a hit, so why not? Initially a Chinese New Year 2022 movie, this will be pushed back alongside the proposed Detective Chinatown 5 by at least a year. Baoqiang Wang and Lu Haoran are expected to reprise their roles in the sequel, with Sicheng Chen again taking up writing and directing duties. A strange title, obscure poster, and a small cast list including Su Wong Fan, yes, the story of Ricky Su Wong Fan, are all that's known about this. There's a lot of movies based on Di Renjie, who was an official in the Tang and Zhou dynasties, and in charge of investigating mysteries and crimes. There seems to be another movie based on his legacy with an as yet unknown plot. And yet another movie based on Di Renjie, this one planning to apparently reboot his image and remove the fantasy and magical elements. This one stars TV host Wei Wei, who was in 2 previous Di Renjie movies in 2021, and Yumiko Cheng from 77 Heartbreaks and 77 Heartwarmings. A drama movie about a man who rescues stray dogs. This is being directed by Huang from The 800 and stars Huang Bo, Eddie Peng, and Ni Yan. This is based on a real historical event from World War II, where fishermen from the island rescued more than 300 British prisoners of war from a destroyed Japanese cargo ship. The 800 director Hu Guan is behind this one, with Wu Jing starring, and if you're keeping track in this video, Wu Jing is listed against 13 projects from 2022. Planned back in 2017 with Louis Koo and Andy Lau, with Oxity Peng as director, nothing has been heard of this since. A fantasy movie as mysterious as its name. We've only found one listing for this, so let's be assumed that it's a rumour at this stage. But Mu Ni has been attracted to this one. She's an actress who has appeared in a lot of Chinese horror films. Announced back in 2017, this is probably going nowhere, as much as we all want it to. Wilson Yip is set to direct, Soi Chung is the producer, with Mr. Cool Louis Koo as the main actor. Interesting poster aside, this one seems to have been stuck in pre-production hell for 2 years, so it's close to being a write-off, but the cast does include Ren Zhong from the awesome film Mr. Six. This fantasy film weaves a tale of princesses, ghosts, and dragons? Yeah, we couldn't really decipher the synopsis of this one, but this seems to have started production and is starring Daniel Zhang from Overall Planning. A China-Hong Kong co-production, this movie started production back in 2019 and may not exist anymore, but hasn't officially been cancelled. The movie is about the owner of a construction firm who plans a huge heist. Jonathan Lee, director of Max Zhang's The Brink, is at the helm, while cast includes Hong Kong's Gordon Lam and mainland comedian Chang Peng Dong from The Winners and The 11th Chapter. This rumoured mainland Chinese action thriller seems to have a mostly Hong Kong cast, including Jordan Chan from Ip Man Final Fight and Sam Lee from over 100 Hong Kong films, including A Witness Out of the Blue and Biozombie. Who knows if this one still exists? Not much is known about this family adventure film that features Louis Koo and Irene Wan and is being written by Herman Yao. We've got nothing else on this other than the concept poster, but it appears to be a live-action remake of a Chinese anime of the same name, full of lots of fantasy elements. A new take on the boxing genre, this movie is expected to follow both male and female characters as they strive to achieve the peak of the sport. Expected to feature a cast that's no stranger to martial arts movies, including Yimen Chen from Double World. Absolutely nothing on this one other than a title we had to translate, so could be wrong, and a cast list including Lan He from the strange horror movie called Live Game and Jia Bing. Speaking of generic titles, you can't get more generic than this. This is a rumoured Soi Chung and Donnie Yen project about a Hong Kong immigrant in the 70s who moves to the US to open a kung fu school and becomes the target of revenge from a gun shop owner. If this ever gets made, expect a title change. Yet another rumoured fantasy movie with a rather generic title. This has nothing but a concept poster and an announced cast list. This war movie is planned to be about when China occupied North Korea in a war against the US. Sounds a little like Battle at Lake Changjin, especially as it shares director Kaige Chen and lead actor Wu Jing, while Lu Haoran is also set to star in this one. So this could be a misdirected listing like 43 Days. No synopsis on this action fantasy film, but the poster gives off a slight The Four vibe. Director Tommy Fan is more well known for writing and directing a lot of 90s Hong Kong action films, with a cast that includes Hong Kong actress Yvonne Hung from A Chinese Torture Chamber. Also known as 52 Street City, Seoul's Town, information on this is very limited, just seems to be about two detectives investigating two very bizarre murder cases. No information about this. However, it could be a remake of the 1994 Wang Jing comedy film of the same name, starring Stephen Chow. All we have is the concept poster and the proposed cast listing. Couldn't tell you much about this one, other than the poster doesn't give much confidence this will be a good film, and Ma Li seems to be listed on the cast list, but not the poster. Just a working title for this one, but it appears to be a live-action remake of a comic of the same name, starring Uyghur actress Dilmurat. Announced in early 2021, not much is known about this one other than it's directed by Zhang, who did the 2018 drama Yang Shui and stars the stunning Zifen Zhang. Really don't have much on this one. It's either a remake of the 1980 classic Japanese film Kagemusha or a movie version of a Chinese mobile phone game. This may be more than just a rumour, as the film seems to have had its launch ceremony, and don't be confused with Jackie Chan's involvement in this. It seems to be from a purely supervisory level. This movie is about a Chinese rescue team who evacuate diplomats from Yemen. The movie has been in planning for 4 years, but seems to have gained some post-pandemic traction. Anticipate hearing more about this in the near future, but a 2022 release is unlikely. Is there a better crime movie director in Hong Kong right now other than Soi Chung? Probably not. Throw in Gordon Lam in the starring role and Johnny To as the producer, and you've got the hallmarks of something special. But at this stage, it's just a rumour. A woman is driven to suicide after an article is written about her, setting off a ripple effect. Sounds like it could be a thriller, with Dongyu from Better Days in the lead role. Nothing about this except an awful concept poster, an announced director and cast, and perhaps the biggest mystery of all, we're not sure if this is a movie or a TV show. This rumoured sequel continues a love story between Xin Feng and Liang Xiaoxiao from the first two films. The cast includes Yu Ge, Shu Zi, and Wei Fan, and was first announced in 2017. Set in 1838 when opium smuggling was rife in China, this movie will follow the emperor's decision to destroy opium imports. Kaige Chen is the director with Wu Jing as the lead. This has had its launch ceremony and a pretty awesome looking poster has been created, which has a Golden Harvest logo on it. No synopsis or anything to go on for this one. Try as we might, we couldn't find anything about this, but it appears to be a fantasy movie about a snake demon. This is a China-South Korea co-production, and is about the man who assassinates the former Japanese Prime Minister who authorized the invasion of North Korea via Harbin. South Korea's Sang-woo Kwok from Hitman Agent Jun stars alongside Hong Kong's Nick Chung. Just have the movie logo for this one, supposed to be an action thriller, and has a cast that includes Gao Shugang from Go-To Brother and Levin Gao from Mr. Donkey. Not much to tell you about this one other than it's being helmed by Fu Dong, who directed a Legend of Condor Heroes movie in 2021 and features cast members from that same film. This is a rumoured Choi Hak fantasy martial arts movie set during the Tang Dynasty. The cast includes Jiao Shun and Chen Kun in what would be their 10th collaboration. This is expected to release in May of 2022 and is a kung fu comedy film about a god who has the power of healing and curing disease. Sammo Hung is expecting to be directing this one and stars Eddie Peng and Yan Tang, who's in the upcoming sci-fi film Three Body Problem. Set in a woman's prison, this one follows a few of the inmates who meet a young prison guard who helps them get their lives back on track. The draw card here is veteran Hong Kong actress Cecilia Yip, last seen in Jade Dynasty from 2019. Who remembers this song? This rumoured movie seems to be based on the popular song of the same name by the Chopstick Brothers, and features the Chopstick Brothers Wang Tai-li and Xiaoyang, which originally was a promotional song for the movie Old Boys Ways of the Dragon. This comedy tells the story of a man whose father has Alzheimer's disease, as he tries to help him remember his mother. Great cast including Yang Chang from Warm Hug, Xiang Wei from Hi Mum, Ma Li from Tiger Robbers, and Jia Bing, who's having a very busy 2021. This is a very red movie about a soldier in the Red Army. This movie will be of very little interest to anyone outside of China. This is a fantasy movie based on a folk tale. This is actor Bin Li's first attempt at directing a film where he also plays the lead role alongside Feng Yilin from Ip Man and the Four Kings. Not to be confused with the Stephen Chow movie, the generic title makes it hard to find more information about. The cast list includes actors who work in the streaming space, including a few who've done a lot of monster movies. Also known as Ghost Blows Out the Light 2, this is about a group of grave robbers seeking hidden treasure, based on a series of fantasy novels with several movie adaptations already. This has either director of A Writer's Odyssey Leung or Hong Kong veteran Choi Hark at the helm, with Hongbo and Chen Kun as lead actors. So why is this double listed? Well, because we found identical cast listings for these films, so are unsure which one is real. This crime drama is about a man released from a 30-year prison sentence who wants to start a new life. The cast on this one includes Wei Fan and Dongyu Zhao. This rumoured Stanley Tong film feels more like a Vanguard reunion, with Jackie Chan, Yang Yang and Ai Len all featuring in this movie about a little girl who lives alone and meets a rare pink panda. They find themselves in danger from both poachers and the authorities and form a special bond. This is an adaptation of an online novel called Kitchen God 4917 about alien housekeepers sold and leased to homeowners. Jia Bing is in this with Wang Tianyu from the Chinese remake of the Korean film Sunny Sisters. With such a generic title, it's very difficult to find more than just the logo poster and a cast list, which includes a lot of cute girls starring in one of their first movie roles. Not much is known about this mystery movie, but it's planned to involve actor Wu Zhang from The 800, Wrath of Silence, A Touch of Sin, and Shockwave in the lead role. Announced fairly late in 2021, so a 2020 release seems unlikely. Is this film about two people with insomnia and how the lines between reality and dreams blur? Genius Hong Kong director Peter Chan from Leap is behind this, with Hugh Ge as the lead actor. This very interesting film is about a basketball-obsessed boy who dies, with his organs being donated to 7 people who later form their own basketball team. Dong Peng, who starred in the hilarious film The Winners, is writing and directing this one and will most likely act in it as well. Nothing but a rumour at this stage, but considering Dante Lam is the director and Eddie Peng is the lead actor, this seems to be the third movie in the Operation series, which includes the excellent Red Sea and Mekong action blockbuster films. This movie tells the tale of a woman who chases after a Korean actor, believing him to be her true love. Ji Wang from Warm Hug and The Wandering Earth and veteran Wei Fan are expected to star in this one. What an odd movie to make a sequel out of, but then I would have said the same thing for Shockwave. Announced back in 2017 and with no other information other than Herman Yao as director and Sean Lau and Louis Koo as actors, this one may never see the light of day. Consider this China-Hong Kong production vaporware until we hear more about this sequel to an already excellent trilogy. Felix Chong, the screenwriter of the original trilogy, is listed as the writer here. Nothing but a rumour with a cast list including Chen Kun. There are several rumoured paint and skin movies, so this may be a duplicated listing. This is supposed to be a romantic sports movie, but I couldn't tell you what sport this is based on. The announced cast list includes Wang Haisheng, who featured in 2013's Police Story and 2015's Who Am I? This is going to be a remake of the 1988 Hong Kong fantasy film of the same name, which originally starred Yen Biao, Yen Hua, and Joey Wong. This film is anticipated to be directed by the writer of the 2 Red Cliff films. Does the world need another Police Story movie? Maybe not, but if there's money to be had, this will be made. Liu Zhang, who directed the rather average 2017 Jackie Chan film Bleeding Steel, is expected to direct this one, with British-born Chinese-based actor Kevin Lee from Wolf Warrior, Super Me and Battle at Lake Changjin expected to feature. This movie tells the tale of the troublesome princess Tsing Huaiyi from the Qing dynasty. Uyghur actress Dilraba Dilmurat scores the starring role in this film, which has generated a bit of hype amongst Chinese netizens. This Hong Kong movie has nothing other than a poster and a plot that follows what if Jack the Ripper travelled to Hong Kong. This is the brainchild of director Peter Chan, but was first announced back in 2010. Not much on this one other than the director of the awesome 2017 action film Explosion is set to helmet, and Hong Kong actor Aaron Kwok and mainland actor Wang are set to cast in it. An interesting story about a woman who was wrongly kidnapped and the police who rescue her. The director of this is Chen who did the excellent The Silent Forest, and the cast includes Shu Zi and Huang Bo. Big Brother Samo is planning a return to the Lucky Stars series, the 5th movie in the franchise if this gets made, and the first in 26 years. Not sure if this is a reboot or a continuation, but the proposed cast list includes Tony Leung, Eddie Peng, Steffi Tse, Mark Chow, Ni Da Hong, and Yen Hua. This Chinese-Singapore co-production appears to be a remake of a TV series of the same name from 2010 that followed several families having a reunion dinner at Chinese New Year. If the rumoured cast is to be believed, expect to see the brilliant Xia Liu from Limbo and I'm Living It in a main role alongside Malaysia's Lawrence Wong. This drama film is an adaptation of the series Under the Eaves of Shanghai, about several generations of people in Shanghai looking for love. Wei Fan from 1 Second will star alongside Chen Yao from The 800. This was rumoured back in 2018 and seems like it'll stay that way. Another reimagining of this martial arts story with Choi Hark as the director. This is a rumoured Chinese version of the German film, first announced back in 2018 and starring Zhou. Until we get a confirmation, this is definitely a rumour. Supposedly, Sammo Hung is going to be reimagining the 1988 film Painted Face that told the story of himself, Jackie Chan and Yen Biao's life at the Peking Opera School. Supposedly, this has started shooting and will apparently feature Tony Leung, Yen Biao, Yen Hua, Yen Shu, Michael Wong, Kenny Lo, Ka-Lok Ching, and Jackie Chan. Sounds too good to be true. This movie is about a professor and his team who travel to a city to study wild animals when 2 spacecraft approach. One crashes to the ground and they rescue the aliens on board. This one sounds very interesting. A poster is visually all we have for this one, but the story is about the Candle Dragon, I'm not sure we translated that right, and the 4 demons who entered the heavens upon Earth's creation. Supposed to release in June of 2022, this feels like it will be effects heavy. Let's hope they're decent. This Hong Kong action movie has no plot or synopsis attached to it, but the proposed cast list includes Detective Chinatown's Lu Haoran, the Yin Yang Master's William Chan, and Raging Fire's Nicholas Tse. An interesting poster for this action fantasy film about a girl who is raised by a giant python. She gets injured and is rescued by villagers whose bullying forces her back into the forest. An insane storyline featuring the perfect actress. Meng Nifu, the girl who played Xiao Yi from Giant Fish, is going to be Snake Girl. This China-Hong Kong co-production has been rumoured for a long time now, with only Soi Chung listed as the director. The 3rd movie in the Winds and Clouds series, this China-Hong Kong co-production was expected to start production back in 2019, but with no updates to now. Louis Koo is listed as the star here. This movie is set in the Ming Dynasty and follows the king as he prepares for a rebellion. The director of the awesome Escape from Shark is behind this one, and features Zihan Sasha Chen, who is set to star in Donnie Yen's upcoming new Kung Fu Cult Master movie. Announced right at the end of October 2021, we've got nothing on this except an expected cast list including Ying Xiao from 2017's Legend of Condor Heroes TV show. An awesome Hong Kong cast, but this is a mainland production for this action film that's being directed by Hong Kong's Jill Wong, who did the film S for Sex, S for Secrets, and starring Hong Kong's Louis Koo and Gordon Lam, and Taiwan's Tiffany Xu from Home Sweet Home. A rumoured sequel to Choi Hark's 2014 Chinese Civil War action movie. In fact, this is supposed to be a prequel, not a sequel. Not sure how real this one is. All we have is a poster and concept art. Seems to be a first-time director, but long-time producer attached to this, and the cast is rather impressive, including Simon Yam, Philip Keung, Jia Bing, Clara Lee, and Melody Tang. Information is only just coming to light about this China-Hong Kong co-production about a police officer and his informant who investigate two interconnected robberies. The impressive cast list on this one includes Gordon Lam from Limbo, Andy On from The Viral Factor, Jordan Chan from Infernal Storm, Steffi Tang from My Prince Edward, and everyone's favourite hairy mole owner, Lam Suet. Announced at the Tencent Pictures conference back in 2019, nothing has been heard of this since. The co-director of 1921 is listed behind this, with Wu Jing and Nan Yu as the cast. Another boxing movie with a title that makes it easy to get confused with other movies of the same name. The only other thing we can tell you is that Xian Meng Wei from 1921 is listed in the cast list. The only person cooler than Shen Ten is his longtime collaborator Ma Li, and she stars in this movie alongside Xiang Wei from Hi Mom and Warm Hug about a man who dreams of becoming a lead actor but falls victim to a dangerous scam. This is giving off a bit of a king of comedy vibe. This was announced back in 2019 and is about an officer in the Internal Affairs Department who is ordered to work undercover to collect evidence by the anti-narcotics group. Sounds like a rather generic Hong Kong themed action crime movie with a mainland flavour. Louis Koo and Nick Chung are set to star in this one, with the late great Benny Chan as the executive producer. Fantasy director Wu Ershan, the man behind the upcoming Feng Sheng trilogy, is behind this live-action adaptation of a popular Chinese webcomic series and is about a college student who discovers his grandfather is a martial arts expert whose techniques are being sought after by many other gangs for nefarious reasons. This sounds like fun. Unfortunately, this film has run into funding problems and due to its horror nature won't be available in China, but hopefully Juno Muck can find a way to make this happen. Sean Lau and Karena Lam are set to star. This film was announced by Bonner Films president and is about a political assassination during the Cold War. Wu Jing is attached to this project. Being filmed in Chongqing, the casting call went out back in 2020 and it seems to have had some type of promotional work, perhaps to find investors, but that's all we've found. A mother grieving the loss of her daughter discovers that she's left behind an egg. The mother, now desperate to turn the egg into a grandchild, seeks the truth about her daughter. Chen Yao will star in this with Ning as the director. Rumoured for a few years now, this is a movie about a father and son. The original Chinese title translates to egg waffle, hence the image on the cover poster. Legends Gordon Lam and Louis Koo are set to star in this one. Not to be confused with the already existing 2019 movie of the same name with Tang Wei, this drama was announced in 2020 and appears to be about a journalist. An impressive cast includes Wang Bo, Eric Wang and Song Jia are listed for this one. Just a listing and nothing else for this other than a proposed cast listing of Ruonan Zhang, who is expected in the upcoming Yin Yang Master sequel, and Song Jia. More horror movies are always welcomed, even if they are Chinese. The casting call went out in May 2021 for this one, and it looks to have commenced production, but I couldn't tell you any more. Long rumoured, but likely to never happen. This third movie would have had Wu Jing fighting alongside Nan Yu, his love interest from the first movie. This appears to be yet another tomb raiding fantasy film with a decent cast of actors, but other than the poster, that's all we have. Some movies have cool posters, and this is one of them. Yet another Sun Wukong Monkey King movie, whose synopsis I can't really understand, and a rather generic title that makes it hard to find out more. Tough to find anything about this movie other than the concept poster and a title which is probably a placeholder. It does have a cast list and director assigned to it, but nothing else. This one is based on a novel of the same name. The rumoured director has done a lot of fantasy movies and the cast seems to be made up of TV series actors, except for Zhao Wen, who played the bad guy in monster movie Monty Python 2. The follow-up to Dream of Eternity is very tricky to narrow down with progress. A bootlegged teaser trailer was released on the internet early 2021 and nothing since. This follows the story of Boya and Xingming as they investigate events in Tiandu City. Mark Chow, Alan Deng, and Jesse Lee return, with Guo Jingming set to direct.